My name is Fidelis Chebe. I'm the director of Migrant Action, which is a migrant justice and rights-based organization. I'm delighted to be part of this research and its final report because it brings into sharp focus three very important interrelated themes. Firstly, it articulates the systemic underpinnings of the impact of COVID-19 with respect to marginalized communities. Secondly, it shines a bright light on the resourcefulness and resilience in communities which misleadingly are often labeled as hard to reach. Finally, and also very important, the research and its report captures lived experience not simply as a vehicle for the expression of traumas, but really importantly, lived experiences as an agency for influencing structural change.
One key recommendation, which is part of our new report on migrant communities-led responses to COVID-19 in the West Yorkshire region. Migrants, including those with precaritized immigration status in England, should have voting rights like the ones we witnessed in Scotland and Wales, where migrants, including refugees, were given the right to vote for the first time in May 2021 elections. Allowing migrants to vote in local and national elections can contribute towards genuine and the kind of restorative integrations that we all want to achieve. Political participation, for example, in the form of voting rights helps increase the political efficacy of migrants and hence to effective integration. Migrant communities should not be overlooked when it comes to policy discussions, policy design, and implementation. Only this way we can achieve an effective integration.
Local and national authorities, including councils, police forces, health practitioners, and educators, need to restore relationship and trust with grassroots organizations and migrant communities which have been broken down by hostile environment policies.
Acknowledge systemic racism and xenophobia embedded in UK institutions. Authorities need to understand and challenge the barriers faced by racially minoritized communities and migrant communities. They need to provide extra support for children and youth in lower-income communities and migrant communities who have fallen behind in school because of lack of access to devices or not understanding the curriculum. Finally, we need to hold private outsourced companies housing people seeking asylum and families accountable. They need to provide safe, sanitary conditions, free Wi-Fi, and food that has cultural, religious, and health considerations put in place.
This is the report that makes some really interesting recommendations. Firstly, it recommends that funding landscape should change in sense of funding and support for community initiatives need to transcend COVID-19. Funding needs to change its timescales and processes, and funding should be provided upfront and not retrospective, as this limits and ultimately stops communities from being able to carry out projects because of lack of resources. The report also recommends, and very importantly, that we acknowledge the methods and survival skills marginalized groups used throughout the pandemic in West Yorkshire. And some of these include organizations like Freebie, Community Garden, Talking Circles, Light or BSC, African Hour, Project Hello, Top Up Scheme, a region community members providing food to the local communities, the Swahili community in Leeds, the Good News Club. All of these real community-rooted initiatives led by champions in Leeds need to be acknowledged.
Ticking boxes and tokenism is exploitative and should stop. Racially minoritized individuals should not need to have white values to stay or be invited to panels, webinars, meetings and funding opportunities. Humanity should come first before labels. Inclusiveness and diversity being celebrated, as well as a sense of welcome and participation being a natural entitlement rooted in people's lived experiences. Understanding equity as equality is too simplistic.
And also environment policies which disproportionately affect racially minoritized individuals and communities. allow people seeking asylum to start and work while their asylum claim is being processed, scrap no recourse to public funds and the NHS surcharge, end detention centers, stop the use of mobile fingerprint scanners connected to the immigration database, install a firewall, end data sharing, and implement non-cooperation between all social, educational, and health care services and the Home Office. Remove the duty to report immigration statuses. Follow the recommendations of the Joint Council of the Welfare of Immigrants campaign, who are here to provide a route for undocumented individuals to obtain status. Thank you.